lost generation, born between 1883 and 1900. They got World War I as their 18th birthday present. Trenches, poison gas, millions dead. Because the war was so awful, when it finally ended, people went crazy partying in the 1920s. Then the 1918 Spanish flu killed 50 million more. That's why they became the original life has no meaning crowd. Famous ones, Ernest Hemingway and F. Scott Fitzgerald, the writers who drank a lot and basically invented the cool but depressed artist vibe. In the end, they survived hell and still created some of the greatest literature ever, the true definition of lost but not forgotten. Next, the greatest generation, born 1901 to 1927. They were kids during World War I, but as teenagers they got slammed by the Great Depression. Stocks crashed in 1929, banks closed, nearly 25% unemployment, pure survival mode. That hardship made them tough. So when World War II started, they went and beat Hitler, the dictator who wanted to take over the world. Women stepped up in factories, and after the war, they built suburbs and the middle class. Big names, Franklin D. Roosevelt, who led America through the whole mess, and Winston Churchill with his legendary fighting speeches. One quiet hero from this generation was Rosa Parks, the woman who refused to give up her bus seat and helped spark big change. In the end, they turned the worst economic and military disasters in history into the foundation of the modern world. True greatest indeed. 3. The silent generation, born 1928 to 1945, grew up in the shadow of World War II. Because their parents were fighting or working crazy hours, these kids learned to keep quiet and follow the rules. They also saw the Korean War and polio epidemics that terrified families. The post-war economy boomed, so they bought houses and created the suburbs. The civil rights movement started gaining momentum in their time, led by figures like Martin Luther King Jr., the preacher who fought for equality with peaceful marches. In the end, they didn't make noise. They just kept the world running smoothly while everyone else was busy rebelling. 4. Now the baby boomers, born 1946 to 1964. After World War II, soldiers came home, got married, and suddenly there was a massive baby boom. That's where the name comes from. They grew up in good times, so they felt free to rebel. The Vietnam War split the country. They invented rock and roll, hippies, and the idea that you can question authority. Icons, the Beatles, the band that made the whole planet scream. Muhammad Ali, the legendary boxer who stood up for his beliefs. And Steve Jobs, who helped bring the personal computer to the masses. In the end, they changed culture forever and still remind everyone how they bought houses with one summer job. 5. Generation X, born 1965 to 1980, the latchkey kids. Their boomer parents were busy working, so a lot of these kids raised themselves. The Cold War finally ended, but they had the Gulf War and the AIDS epidemic. They got MTV, video games from Atari to Nintendo, and the first personal computers. Kurt Cobain from Nirvana created grunge that screamed whatever at the world. Bill Gates built Microsoft, and Oprah became a media queen. In the end, they invented sarcastic whatever attitude and quietly became the bosses running most companies today. 6. Millennials, born 1981 to 1996, grew up right as the internet arrived in homes. Then 9/11 happened, the terrorist attacks that changed everything and started long wars. Later, the 2008 financial crisis hit exactly when we graduated. Banks collapsed again. huge student debt, jobs disappeared. Still, we created Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, the guy who connected the planet, Instagram, Uber, and turned memes into a global language. In the end, we were told we're special, then had to kill the diamond industry and napkins just to survive. 7. Generation Z, born 1997 to 2012, the true digital natives. They had iPhones since they were little. Then COVID-19 shut down schools and the world for years because they lived through constant news, a pandemic, and economic chaos. They develop strong mental health awareness and don't trust old systems. They're hilarious on TikTok and experts at calling out nonsense. In the end, they see through the BS faster than any generation before, and they're not afraid to say it out loud. 8. Generation Alpha, the iPad kids, born 2013 to 2024. COVID shaped their whole early childhood. They learned on tablets and grew up with ChatGPT and AI that can draw or write stories. They speak fluent brain rot, skibidi toilet, Ohio, Riz, memes that make older people scratch their heads. In the end, these kids are growing up faster than anyone before, and they might fix our mess or make it way weirder. 9. And the brand new generation beta, starting 2025. These babies are arriving into a full AI world. They'll probably have robot teachers, neural implants, or weekend trips to Mars. Pandemics, AI, and new medicine will hopefully smash them. Economy, maybe universal basic income, or jobs we can't even imagine. In the end, they'll either save the world with AI or teach the robots how to make even better memes. Only time will tell, and it's gonna be chaotic fun. By the way, there's no official committee that decides these names and dates. Sociologists, writers, and the media usually look at big events and just slap a catchy label on each group. Which one are you? Drop it in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.